Hey guys, so I know it's been a while since I have done a video, or an episode, or whatever you wanna call it these days. It's been a while, probably almost a month now, and this month has been really tough, especially on my mental health. We had my sister-in-law's memorial and celebration of life earlier this month, and that really took a huge toll on my emotions and my mental health, because when it comes to grieving, I don't grieve right away, because I am always the one that will be that pillar of support, or try to be that pillar of support for my friends, family, loved ones, you name it. And I will literally be one of the last ones to grieve. Yes, I will show my emotions and show how upset I am and things like that, but I won't ever take the time to grieve properly until I've taken care of everybody else. And so finally, after the memorial and everything, I pretty much did nothing but cry all night, and I had to work the next day. So I go into work with a puffy eyes, and everybody just, they knew that I wasn't okay. And I am so lucky to work with the people that I do, because they know, they get it. They know how to offer support without saying a lot or even doing a lot. And that meant a lot to me, just because they helped me keep my mind off of everything from the previous day. And these last few days have been especially hard, because it is now past the 1 year anniversary of losing Katie, and officially saying that she's gone. So it hurts, because tomorrow is Thanksgiving Day, and her birthday is in a couple of weeks. So it's still really hard to talk about, but if I don't talk about how I feel about losing my sister, then it's all just gonna stay bottled up, and that's not gonna be good, because that'll just bottle up with other emotions and other feelings, and that is, in my case personally, a recipe for disaster. And I just realized that last night I have been missing 2 key medications for over a month. So, my whole routine and my entire behavior and everything has been off for an entire month. And I've probably broken down about 5 or 6 different times to my husband, apologizing for pretty much being a piece of shit. because I can't control my emotions. I can't do anything right. And I feel useless. And it sucks feeling that way. Yes, the medication does help me to not feel like that. But when I don't have said medication, that's when those self-doubting thoughts come in and just really hit a lot harder than they normally would. This month, the depression is just absolutely overwhelming, because I'm just getting back to work after my knee surgery. We basically said goodbye to Katie, even though it's really not goodbye. You know, it's never goodbye. It's always see you later. It's still really hard to talk about. I mean, they say that the first year is the hardest, and I don't deal with death very well. I never have. I've lost a lot of people really close to me. And I've never handled death very well. And I don't grieve the way that everybody else does. With certain people, I tend to end up staying in the denial phase a lot longer than what I really should. Like with Katie, I pretty much stayed in the denial stage until I saw her gravestone, or her headstone, whatever you call it. Some people call it gravestone, a tombstone, a headstone. But the one that was picked out for her was so beautiful. I just wish that she was still here. She is very loved still, and she is so freaking missed. One of our friends said something on Facebook about how Katie and another friend are probably, up in the sky somewhere, wherever they're at, looking down at all of their friends and family, like, why the hell are they so sad? Like, we never wanted them to be sad for us leaving, because that's just how they were. That was their personalities. But losing them at the age we did is what really hurts, because Katie and I, we have kids that are the same age. My son is only 3.5 months older than her second son, And Katie was so excited for my little one to be born. And the day that she met him, she was still pregnant with little Alex, and just the joy and the glow that she had when she met her nephew for the first time. I'll never forget it. Like, we were definitely getting a lot closer, and I was so happy about it. So to lose her the way that we did so early in life, I mean, she hadn't even hit her 28th birthday, and she had so much to offer this world. Her personality alone, just mind-blowing. She's gifted, talented. I wish she was still here. I really do. I miss her so much. And that's not to say that I don't miss everybody else that I've lost along the way in my almost 30 years of living. I mean, you know, my great-grandmother passed away 4 days after my first birthday. I mean, do I miss her? Yes. But I don't feel as strong of a connection because I was only 9 months old when she actually got to hold me. Because unfortunately, she was pretty frail. And, you know, I was a little chunky as a baby. That meant I was healthy. And great grandma was up there in age. So, it's the only great grandparent on either side of my family that I've ever met. I've lost both maternal grandparents, both maternal step-grandparents. I didn't have the opportunity to attend any of the funerals. With my maternal grandmother, I was working, and they don't give bereavement for part-timers. I was working 3 different jobs at the time, and still didn't have enough money to go home to New York. My maternal step-grandmother passed away 11 months before my maternal grandmother, so I lost 2 grandmothers in 1 year, and that hurt a lot. And then February 2020, here I am, 9 months pregnant with my first baby. The day before my baby shower, I get a call that my grandpa's not doing good. I already start to assume the worst, that grandpa's not going to make it through the day. sure enough, I get a call later in the day. Grandpa's gone. So I get on Facebook, update my little event, saying that due to the death of my grandpa, I'm canceling the event. You know, thanks to everybody who showed their support. You know, it's greatly appreciated. Thank you. Love you guys. You know, blah, blah, blah. Of course, everybody understood. Everybody was pretty concerned for me because I had had a very difficult pregnancy. I only wanted to see mine and my husband's two best friends the day that I was supposed to have my baby shower. I didn't want to see anybody else. I was too distraught, too emotional, because I knew my doctor was not going to clear me to drive 10.5 hours to New York, or, you know, let alone even fly at 9 months pregnant. So it's another funeral I missed. And then we found out this year that my maternal step-grandfather passed away April of last year. And that's a whole story that I'm not going to get into on this particular episode, because that will induce a lot of rage and anger towards one of my poppy's daughters, who I refuse to acknowledge as an aunt after what she did. They say forgive and forget. I tend to hold a grudge. While I could forgive, I won't ever forget. So I lost 2 grandmas in 1 year, and then roughly 6 years later, I lose 2 grandpas in 1 year. And in that same year, I lose a sister. So while 2020 gave me my baby boy, I lost 3 family members. And was laid off because of COVID. My job was closed for 3 months. So that was fun. So eventually, when I go home to New York to visit, so that the rest of my family that wasn't able to make it to my wedding in 2019 can meet the rest, can meet my husband and my son now. I know where my maternal grandfather is buried. He is buried in the same cemetery as my maternal grandmother. It's about a 50-yard difference from where both sides of the family are buried for my mother. It's pretty much family cemetery. It's kind of weird, but I I don't know if that was planned or not. I'm not sure with Poppy being a veteran, if he is buried in any of the military cemeteries around the area. And I would have to get a hold of one of my aunts to see where my grandma Loretta is buried so I can visit her and pay my respects to her. And one of these days I'm just gonna go to the cemetery, depending on how cold it is, because it's getting really cold really, really fast. My bones don't like it. I mean, I did just have knee surgery like 2 months ago. So, depending on the weather, I will probably just go to the cemetery where Katie's gravestone, grave marker, headstone, whatever you want to call it, is at, and sit down on a blanket and just talk to her. Because that'll make me feel better, knowing that I have someplace to go and just, even though I know I won't get a response, I can still go and kind of feel her presence and still talk to her. And that's how I feel about my grandparents. Grandpa's buried, with his mom and his great-grandparents. And so I get to talk to my great-grandmother and great-great-grandmother, great-great-grandfather whenever I go to New York. But that has to be a well-planned and thought-out trip, because one just does not go to New York for a week and cram everything into a week. I've done it. It's very difficult. I did that back in 2015 when I went back for an R5 concert for Labor Day weekend. Not my best planned vacation, because we didn't realize it was Labor Day weekend. Nobody planned off. And they're like, did we completely miss the holiday? Like, oh. And my boss was upset because they already gave me off, and technically that was a blackout holiday. Nobody realized it. I was like, plane tickets already booked. Non-refundable. I'm going. Because my family's the one that paid for the ticket, not me. If I remember correctly. Or maybe I paid for the ticket. I don't remember. This was like 6 years ago. So, yeah, trying to see my dad's huge family in a week. Fun, but difficult. Mom's side of the family, not so big. still difficult to get them all together. But yeah, that's pretty much how things have happened, and the way I react to losing somebody that I really care about. And thankfully, I'm still going to therapy to help, because if I wasn't going to therapy and I didn't have the right medication, ticking time bomb is all I can say. Because I don't know what my mental state would be like. And I don't want to venture to guess, because that's scary to think about, quite honestly. I don't like thinking about what my mental state was like prior to actually getting help. I like the fact that I am getting help, and when I have the right components pieced together, everything clicks the way it's supposed to. Yeah, so I mean, not exactly sure what I would do without my therapist, because the therapist has been a huge help. And then, of course, my cats. God, love my cats. Whether I'm sick or sad or who the hell knows what's going on with me, they're right there. Even when I don't want them to be. They're right there because they know. And the same with my dogs. Dogs drive me nuts because they're in the puppy stage. And I'm learning how to train a dog, because I haven't had a dog in a really, really long time. So I haven't had to train a dog. Cats, okay, when they're tiny little kitten, put them in the litter box. They're like, this is where you go. They're like, okay, you do that a couple of times. Dogs, no, they have a short attention span. My patience is probably as short as their attention span. So, I gotta work on my patience. Gotta work on their training. Because as mad as I get at them, I can't imagine not having them in my life, because I'm pretty sure that my puppy Link helped save my mental health in a way. But I also saved him too. I rescued him from a shelter. And, so that was a win-win. Artemis, okay, yeah, we got her from Petland. And yeah, people are gonna probably come for me on that one. But for me, she's in a great home. She's going to live her best life with me, my husband, my son, and all the other animals I have here. I can't imagine the kind of place she would have ended up in if I didn't get her. I mean, like, literally, if I could adopt all the animals, I would. But I don't have enough space or money or food, for that matter, to be able to care for all of the animals. And it breaks my heart because you see these people that give away animals for no reason at all. Just like, oh, I don't want them no more. I'm just like, give them here. I'll take them. Or they just abandon them. Like, what's the point of getting any kind of animal if you're just going to get bored with them? I don't get it. Like, I could not imagine not having my 5 cats and my 2 dogs. Call me fucking crazy, but you know what? I love these little fur balls. They are my life. My son is my life. And I will work my fingers to the bone to make sure all of them are taken care of and have what they need. Because I would rather starve and go without so that my child and my pets have food and clothes and water. Because that's just me. And I wouldn't have it any other way. My child and my animals come first. No matter what. And nobody can tell me otherwise. I know I've kind of gone off on a few different directions, but that's just how I do things. I don't have like a script to follow for this channel or podcast episode. I really just do my own thing and say, what's on my mind, what's on my heart for this particular episode. And, if anybody has questions, I'll answer them to the best of my ability. But one thing I won't tolerate is hateful questions, comments, or anything like that. So with all that being said, I'm hopeful about getting on a better schedule with putting out more content. Just don't hold me to it just yet. I mean, we're literally in the busy season at work, and the holiday season kicks off as of tomorrow. Once Santa comes into view at the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade, once we see Santa, that is when the holiday season officially starts. So, I'm going to wrap things up for tonight. I hope everybody has a wonderful, blessed Thanksgiving from my family to yours. And thanks for hanging out with me tonight. And I will see everybody next time.